Hello, race fans. Welcome to another episode of Short Track Guys Podcast, brought to you by ShortTrackExclusives.com. I'm your host, Thomas Battis, once again with two guys here, short track style. Jim Pokrant, driver of the 07, Can'tQuitFishing.com sportsman, and 2021 sportsman champion. I just thought I'd say that again. And Ted Baber, Ted Baber Video Productions here in Pensacola, Florida, and really the short tracks of Southeast. What's up, guys?
Hey, how we doing?
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, we've had a big weekend just behind us, and we've got a bigger weekend coming up, which we're going to get into just a second with Jim and that sportsman trip down to New Smyrna at the Red Eye 50/50 and his super stock. There were a couple of races that we mentioned last week in Tulsa at a complex. I think it's the Gate Net complex here in Tulsa. They run the shootout, the Tulsa shootout, and then they run the Chili Bowl Nationals. And man, we got some shout outs actually from, Golden Driller winners here coming up just a little bit, but that is what's happened before and coming up. But we've got a couple of big street stock and super stock races, which is where our buddy Jim Pokrant, is going to travel down with his team, and participate in the Red Eye 50/50 in his super stock. And, what is actually going on in that stable getting prepared for that race?
Well, just starting to load the trailer, and we got to finish the number from the damage. I got a little bit of work to do there, and then we got to scale the car because we have more left side weight, and the car has to weigh 3,200 pounds with the driver after the race. At Five Flags, we're 3,100, and we're allowed a pound per lap burn off, so we can be 25 pounds light at the end of a 25-lap race. Not down there, so we got to actually be a little heavy, which is fine. And they measure ride height with the driver in the car, which is something I've never seen before. And they're allowed a 6-inch ride height. So I don't know how much my car sinks with my big behind in the left side, but we're going to find out.
We won't comment on that.
Yeah. Well, and we can run different offset wheels, which next year at Five Flags, we're going to be allowed to run 2-inch offset wheels. The new rules should be up. So we'll be ready for that too. But I mean, it's just scale it and then put it in the box, strap it down, and then, Ted's going to be there, and I think Mike Gorham is going with us, but if not, it'll be me, Ben, and Ted. And we're rolling out at 3:30 Friday morning.
Mommy.
And headed to Fort Lauderdale first. We got some business to attend to, then on to the racetrack for practice, and then after practice, we'll leave it and go to the hotel, come in the next day, and we'll go racing. We're the first race of the night, 25 laps. It'll be my first time ever on this racetrack, and I appreciate all the guys down there that have sent me messages and helped me. Paul Schloss, who used to race with us at Five Flags, sent me a detailed message about that track, kind of how to get around it. It's a little different, told me some different little things, which is really cool. I appreciate all the guys down there and their encouragement for coming down, because a lot of them have really thanked me for coming and reached out, and I think that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's a long commute from here to there, and it's a big race, so it's going to be fun.
Well, during the Governor's Cup, not the Governor's Cup, but during the speed weeks, they run 2 races for super stocks. One's a 25-lapper and one's a 50-lapper. So it depends on how we do. Who knows? We might saddle up and go back down there sometime in February. But it's such a neat historic place, and I'm just excited about getting a race at another historic Florida racetrack.
Yeah. Right, and we talk about super stocks and street stocks and pure stocks and bombers but I mean you're running a sportsman division here locally in Pensacola at Five Flag Speedway, and you're taking your car, the 07, like you do at the sportsman division here, and you're taking it back and entering it as a super stock. So for our listeners, what is the difference between the two?
Well, we're allowed, they have to be a little heavier, but they also allowed more left side weight. We're at 53% max. They're 55% max. They, lots of things, like they're allowed to set their motors back. We're not. They, a little bit more suspension than we have. They're a little bit lower in ride height. But hey, I went to the Rattler in 1998 with back then was Spectator, which became the sportsman division. And I brought a knife to a gunfight. There was no way I was going to win that race. I went there to have a good time, and we wound up winning the thing. So anything can happen. And how cool would it be to come home with the win? We're going to try. And I've got a trophy from every racetrack I've ever run on. So we got to go down there and get one, at least a podium. If nothing else, I got to get a trophy.
Well, you did spend some time in the sim last week before we left. And, you've got some pointers, you've got some reach outs, and, hopefully, you get the car dialed in after practice. And, you've always preached you wanted to have it and do it as a part of being a fun thing to do. Yeah. You wanted to reach out. We've talked about our dumpster list now, our bucket list started out, but you're going to New Smyrna with that super stock car. And we wish you all the best. And we're obviously going to, keep up with all that stuff.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Definitely. We're going to have some fun. That's what it's all about. It's fun. That's why we're doing this. Ben is all excited. I'm excited. Let's go down and have a good time. Bring the car home. And where we finish is where we finish. We're not going to be upset about it. I have to buy a temporary NASCAR license, which is $55, because I will be a temporary NASCAR official Charger Division driver, which we were at Five Flags in '97. So it'll be interesting. Like I said, I'm going to go to have a good time. I hope anybody down there that gets a hold of this wants to come out and meet me. Hey, come on out and say hello to me and Ted. If you listen to our podcast, give us a shout out, say hello. And we're going to try to do some stuff down there. I'm going to do some Facebook Live and stuff to try to put on our website. And we're going to have fun, man. That's what it's mainly about, is having some fun.
Yeah, we're eventually going to have a big ass trophy in this studio. I assure you that. He's knocking on the door. That 07 can'tquitfishing.com super stock. I can say now, going down to New Smyrna at the Red Eye 50/50 this weekend.
Just have a good time.
Well, speaking of that, and we're doing the differences between super stocks and street stock. The street stock national now coming up this weekend at Dillon Motor Speedway in Dillon, South Carolina, is attracting. This is the 13th annual. They're attracting a lot of street stock drivers for the street stock nationals, but
a 100-lap event.
Yeah, exactly. It's every year, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's another event that's coming up this weekend, as well as what we have preached before. We're going to touch in the dirt. We're going out to New Mexico.
We've never been there.
Yeah, New Mexico. And Ted, did you say it was Vado, New Mexico?
I believe that it is. Yeah.
I think it's Vado Speedway, if I'm not mistaken. It is the 17th annual Wild West Shootout. And we have talked about drivers of Brandon Shepard's, Brandon Overton's, Tyler Erb's, Mike Marlar's. These guys, they're all going to be coming for the money, and
the money is there.
The money is there, and we preached about that before in our podcast. It's $320,000 purse,
oh, my Lord,
with bonuses on top of that for winning 6, 5, and 4 races in the 6 nights.
Everybody's
just pay attention to that. That's going to be a big update next Wednesday.
Oh yeah, I'm going to see who did what and how much they won and how much it took on. Oh.
Yeah, it'll be a good show. Those dirt late model guys, for that kind of money, there'll be some good racing.
Oh yeah.
A quick shout out though to my buddy in the New Year's Bash. Scotty Brewer has a car in there. He's the one that brought that beautiful number 28 Hardy's car.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The Five Flags. Cool. They won races at that racetrack. Now I don't know if that car is entered, but he has a driver that runs his car. Scotty Brewer, good luck to you and your team. And man, I just hope that we don't have the same problem. I think that dude that drove across the scales last year, he's permanently banned from up there.
Oh.
Remember the guy that did the burnout on the scales?
Yep.
That was dumb. Because the guy that finished second, they couldn't put him on scales, but he had problems before the race with the scales not being right. Because I talked to the guy on Facebook, and he said they had problems with the scales. And had the guy pulled off the scales and the second place car pulled up and there was a problem, that guy still may have won the race, but because he did a little burnout, I can't think of his name, but
I'm going to take a shout out to Tumbleston.
I think it was Tumbleston.
It could be.
It was like a Bobby
Tumbleston.
Bobby Tumbleston. And I think the owner or the promoter or both came out and gave an explanation as to how that happened. And so, it was Tumbleston, I think.
Permanently banned from that place.
Wow.
Well,
bye-bye.
Can't
well,
be
you don't
stupid
do
all your life.
no. But I mean, like I said, the second place car said that the scales weren't exactly right, and they couldn't check them because of what happened. Had he pulled off, and the second place car wasn't right, and the third place car wasn't right, they had put him back on, and they probably, if there was the same percentage off on both cars, he still would have won the race.
Yeah.
But because he showed his behind,
Yeah, I think we have an episode with that incident.
We did. We talked about it last year.
Well,
yep,
I think
we sure did.
Yes.
Yep.
memory serves me correctly, I think we do.
We did, but I just think that's just silly. But I just want to give a shout out to Scotty Brewer and his bunch. Good luck, guys. Go get you the W.
Yep.
Well, that's what it all is about, is W's, and the trophies. You
want to have fun, but it's more fun if you're winning.
True. I mean, for years I raced without having to win one. When I finally won my first feature in '98, you're like, yeah, I want more of these.
Exactly.
Yeah, these are neat.
These are pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think I like them. You want a little bit more.
Yeah. So let me on a different side of the fence, going and looking from the outside into racing. If Jim, you've won races before, what would be of those races been the easiest one that you've ever won that you can recollect?
The easiest one I ever won, 2005. I started on the pole and nobody could touch me.
That's always nice.
That's the year I outran Bo Resmondo. That's when my motor blew up in the shop, and Bo Resmondo bought all the parts because I couldn't afford it. And Bo made Craig Powell do the machine work for free, put the motor together, and I went out and outran Bo with that motor that he paid for.
That's got to sting just a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah. But I mean, Bo Resmondo was a great guy to race with, and I'm still good friends with him. He's a great guy. He kind of started looking for a car, and then he quit again. He's like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm like, yeah, you do. You miss it. And he's a Snowball Derby winner. He's got something I don't have.
Number 83, wasn't it?
Number 83, yep. Mm-hmm. He's still at his house. They have Club 83. That's what they call their little area where they hang out. It's Junior Coleman's old shop.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, that's. I have a story with the 83 too with Bo. That's for probably another episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I started in front of him in a heat race and had gotten the clutch taken care of so where I could shift from first to second. And I had been braking because I was starting in high gear.
Oh.
And so, yeah. So
I've done that.
I replaced the clutch and got it to first and second, but I had my left foot on the brake. And when I went to shift gears, I stomped on the brake and it stabbed the whole field behind me. And Bo, the 83, happened to be behind me.
Lord.
Yeah. And everybody went around me. And luckily, by the time I got to turn one, I was in dead last. Yeah.
Oh, I had one night I went and grabbed a clutch instead of the brake in the corner. I freewheeled off in the corner like, yikes. Yeah, I've pushed the brake instead of the clutch before because I'm like coming around to the green. And now if I'm shifting, I make sure my left foot is on the clutch pedal going down the back straightaway. And I clear the car out a couple times to make sure. Yep. And I try putting it into gear and then I pull it back because I've had problems before. That night I won, I came from the back, the car wouldn't shift.
Yep.
So, I mean, and we found the loose shifter because Ben went to move the car and said I couldn't get it in first gear. Crawl underneath it and the damn shifter was loose. So,
well, that's when a spotter comes in handy to make sure the guy with the helmet on's got his, got his ducks in a row. Oh, I was excited because I finally could, and things happened where I started on pole. Yep. And Bo was right behind me, and I was like ready to go and get after it, and I had to make a mistake like that. And I'm still to this day sorry about that.
But
it happened.
Yep. So we've got races that have passed or coming up, and we continue with asphalt, short track, dirt track. Want to give a couple of shout outs from the Tulsa Shootout last week with Gavin Bichelle. He's a young cat that's with that Kevin Swindell Speed Lab stable. Gets his first golden driller at the complex out there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And congratulations, Gavin. You have such a bright future ahead of you. Knowing what you know behind the wheel and being as young as you are, you've got the world in front of you. And congratulations to you and that whole Swindell stable. What a cool deal they've got with Kevin. And, Jim and I can go back years with Kevin coming into Five Flags in the sprint car, the wing sprints. I think he was 15 at the time. Yep. Set the track record on a double header. I think they went to Mobile on Saturday night. And when Kevin got through with his qualifying lap and set the track record, and Sammy happened to be in that stable and walked out in the pit road, and Jim walked up to him and said, "Where does he put him?" And Sammy looked and said they hadn't dropped yet.
He hadn't dropped yet.
And that to me was like, holy crap.
I swear some of those sprint car guys, when they walked, you could hear them clanging together. Crang, crang, crang. Cause there's no way you could drive one of those cars wide open for 25 or 30 laps and never lift, even in traffic.
Flat-footed.
Imagine doing it when you go down into the very first turn first lap and lose your brakes. One of the gentlemen that was out there at Five Flags, I think he was 65 years old. That's what happened to him. Goes out, stomps the brakes, ran the entire race, and he lost to a 14-year-old because he.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember
he
the
got
one dude
worn out trying to keep it under him.
I remember that dude hit the wall off a 4, and he whipped around and he hit the wall, and he said, "What did it feel like?" He said, "Stepping off a curb and getting hit by a bus running 70."
That was
Because it just whipped around. I mean, it was like this, and then went boom in the fence, and it didn't go 50 feet.
Was it Butler?
No, it wasn't Butler. It wasn't Steele either.
Yes, it was. It was Dave Steele. It was Dave Steele.
Dave Steele. Okay.
Dave Pavlock asked him that question.
Yeah.
And Dave looked at him like, well, like I stepped in front of a bus. That's what it felt. He broke an axle.
Yeah,
That's what
and
happened.
It whipped around and bam, right in the fence.
I mean, full 360. Boom, hit in the wall.
Oh, my
God
God.
rest his soul. Yeah, Dave Steele's no longer with us.
Nope.
Yeah,
Great sprint car driver.
well, that's congratulations, Gavin Bushell. In your first Golden Driller, and you've got and that whole Swindell Speed Lab now coming up with the Chili Bowl at the Expo in Oklahoma. You're going to see
Same thing.
the King, pretty much. Sammy Swindell.
Oh.
He and his son Kevin have swapped out with Chili Bowl Nationals. I think 5 in a row, 4 in a row, or whatever. But they've got to be the record as far as the family goes, for sure.
Oh yeah.
But man, what a great deal with that. The other shout out that I have is from Port City Race Cars.
All right.
We're big Port City fans with Bubba Pollard, and hey, we got the fender to prove it. This one goes out to an Adam Fulford. He came away with the Hangover 150 Super Truck race at Goodyear All-American Speedway in Jacksonville, North Carolina, which is really just northeast of Myrtle Beach in Carolina. And he drives the number 71 Smithfield Chicken and Barbecue truck. And congratulations to Adam Fulford for pulling off that win. I know we talk about wins and racing and getting in the shop and, getting, all blood, sweat, and tears and gears, whatever you want to call it. But when it comes down to like getting that checkered flag coming across the stripe, it's got to be something special. So congratulations, Adam.
The best feeling in the world.
Oh, it's freaking awesome.
And it's Port City.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's always
Port
that
City,
too.
Congratulations to Port City Race Cars as well.
Actually, our family just says Port City Ace Cars because the R got knocked off in the wreck that Bubba had, but hey, it happens.
It does, and we look forward to a 2023 with Bubba Pollard stable in that Port City, with that's going on. I know Jim said before we went on, he's got one of his cars for sale.
Yeah, he's got the car that he ran, the Oxford 250. It's a pro late model, with or without motor. Without the motor seat and lead, you're looking at $55,000 for a front-running late model driven by the famous Bubba Pollard.
Yep.
So he's got that for sale. And not only that, but I see where Bubba's racing in South Florida this weekend. He's not going to the Red Eye, which I figured he would get to do. But no, he's going to the Freedom Factory, in which they're running the SRL Sportsman Series, which is the old Wheelman Series, and they're going to run there. As of right now, there's 44 entries.
Yeah.
What's funny is Cody Brusso's racing against her wife, Brooke Storer. They're both in the field. How about them getting tangled up in a wreck? That'd be a heck of a ride home, wouldn't it?
Really quiet.
Yeah, it'd be quite a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But Bubba Pollard's in the race. Cletus McFarland,
yes,
the owner of the Freedom Factory, which is where the race is, the old Bradenton Speedway. DeSoto Speedway was another name for it back in the day. So he's going to actually race. So that's going to be cool. But 44 cars have entered that race. That's the Ricky Brooks SRL series, Sportsman Series. So it's going to be a good show. I would love to go watch that. I think that what Cletus McFarland has done with that place is awesome.
Yeah. Well, he's a YouTube sensation, isn't he?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, and just want to give this just something that popped in my head, and I thought about rest in peace, Ken Block.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks I appreciate you bringing that up. I wanted to mention that as well.
As much crazy stuff as that man's done, he dies in a snowmobile accident.
Of all things. Yeah.
And I bet he wasn't just riding easy down a trail and slipped off of it and caught a branch. I'm sure he was probably 900 miles an hour and went out the way he wanted to go. But Prayers out to the Block family, man. That dude is a hero as far as I'm concerned. Some of the crazy stuff he's done driving that Mustang that he's got. So,
Well, Jim Croce say 130 mile an hour smiling at the camera with a toothpick in your mouth.
Yeah, that's it. So I just want to give that shout out to Ken Block and his family. We're all fans. Great guy, good competitor, good for the motorsports in general. He was.
Oh.
Yep. I mean, it's just it's a family, It's a short track guys, but we dabble in a lot of it, this competition on wheels, and we reach out to everybody, and it's so glad you brought that up because it's something that touches all of us really in a speed sense, whether it be circle track or it be drifting or however you want to put it. Off road,
Any kind of motorized competition, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
rally.
it's a family that we come together as race fans, and so we're gonna switch a little bit of a gear and do a little 5-question questionnaire from short track guys, and I'm put a couple of them together, and you guys have collaborated with a couple more. I'm going to start off the first one. If there's any answers to these, maybe not. But
There's no wrong
what
answer.
would be a short track New Year's resolution?
More trophies in the 07 camp.
That'd be a great and along those lines, let's make the racing level. Let's level the playing field.
I agree. We need more tech. We need more people willing to do the job, and man, more cars on the racetrack.
Yes. More participation.
I realize our economy sucks and it's hard to justify it, but if you got a race car and you can bring it out, who cares if you got to run old tires? Enjoy being on the racetrack.
Yes.
Stop being a bunch of prima donnas and if I can't run, I don't want to play.
Well,
I'm taking my ball and going home. No, go racing.
that's where the tech part comes in. You make the playing field level, and everybody has a chance. It
Well,
helps.
that and payout. Got to have more money.
Yeah.
Well, the question number 2 was what should we be most excited about in 2023? And I think that would probably go inside with maybe question number 1.
Yeah.
I think we kind of combine those answers together. So we'll just kind of skip that, say all of the above.
All the above. Yeah.
And then, this one is drivers to watch for in 2023. What do you guys think?
William Sawalich. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Missile.
I'm going to say Casey Roderick in that Anthony Campy number 81, son, because Casey ran really well in his own stuff. Can you imagine what he's going to do when he doesn't have to care?
Yeah.
I can send it. Full send. The heck with it. I ain't got to lift. If I got to run him over, I'll run him over. But congratulations to Casey Roderick for getting that. I'm a Bubba Pollard diehard fan, but I tell you what, Casey's my second guy in line there, and I would love to see him win some races this year for Anthony Campy.
Well, I think they're right when they said Anthony Campany in that 81 got teamed up with Casey Roderick.
Yeah.
I think that was like a match made in, where.
Yep.
Yeah, checkered flag heaven. Yeah, so we look forward to that, and I would have to agree with both of you. Really, I've been preaching about that 15-year-old, now 16, William Sawalich. We got introduced to him over a year ago.
Yeah.
And he kept winning, and now he's been running and winning and winning and winning. And it was like, wait a minute, hello. So watch for William Sawalich and Casey Roderick, and that.
Both of them.
Those are two certainly drivers to watch in 2023.
And of course, our boy Bubba Pollard.
Absolutely. I mean,
Oh, you can't. That's without a doubt. You can't. I mean, he's already up there anyway.
yeah.
So, and the last one we can do before we start off, the Stars National Tour. We talked about a national super late model or late model champion from all the series, and now it's come to fruition.
Right.
Now it's happening. So, what the predictions are from the short track guys here in the studio.
Well,
with the first year, the Stars National Tour champion will be
Casey Roderick or Bubba Pollard. Or, a wild card you can throw in there. You can throw
Stephen
the 51,
Nasse.
Stephen Nasse, or Michael Hind. He's got a shot. I mean, those guys are fast. I mean,
a bunch of them.
And Matt Craig.
Yeah.
You got to look at guys like that because there's other guys, the 43 car that won the Derby. I can't think of his name at the moment. But
Derek Thorne.
Derek Thorne, if
Jesse
he gets
Love.
it right.
Yeah.
Jesse Love's fast, but he's not fast down here. He's fast in the Midwest because that's where he's from, but you never know. But I look to see somebody like Casey Roderick take this because I'm going to tell you something. He's consistent, he's fast, and he's got good equipment that he doesn't have to pay for anymore.
I don't know what Sammy Smith's future is.
I don't think he's going to be running. Well, I think he's still running the trucks. I mean, I don't know if he'd be driving for Kyle Busch because of Chevrolet and he's a Toyota guy.
Yeah.
That's something I want to talk about real quick. Toyota only has very limited seats.
Yeah.
And yet they have all these drivers like Swallets and all these other guys racing for Toyota. That's not fair to them because they know that there's nowhere to go when they get to the big leagues. Well, and then Kyle Busch is switching over to Chevrolet.
Yeah.
A couple of guys have jumped ship. So we'll see where it goes from here. But I just think that I'm going to go with, I think the man that's going to be that Star Series champion at the end of the year is going to be Casey Roderick, and he's on all the posters and Five Flags in his old car. I just think that's an omen. That's just coming from me.
Yeah. Anything can happen.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the entry list, and I can imagine the top 10 at the end of the year from that. From some of the lists that we've gone through.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine the drivers can come from all over.
Absolutely. I mean, there could be somebody we haven't even heard of before.
Yes,
that could wind up winning it.
Yes,
just come
it
out of
comes from
nowhere.
the ACT series, or maybe somebody like Dutility.
Yeah,
from down in Punta Gorda comes down from Portland.
I don't know about Dutility. He hasn't raced a lot. I don't know if his money's gotten tight, or I know his crew all got sick there a little while with COVID, and they didn't race very much. Right. But I think somebody like Michael Hine could be a surprise.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. That boy's got a lot of talent. He's right there. And there's another guy we're not thinking about who's run really well this past year is Jackson Boone.
True.
Yeah.
He's another one that could sneak in there and steal it. I mean, if you're consistent, you ain't got to win all the races. I'm pretty sure it's consistency that'll get you the championship.
Well, where's Gio Ruggiero going to be?
He was been running a lot of pro stuff, though. I don't know. He run a couple supers, but he's not going to be an Anthony Campy stuff unless he's running pro. So.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that's coming up, and certainly we are the source for a lot of that little stuff. And if you don't know, then we certainly try to provide that for you all.
The 411.
Yeah. And Jim getting ready for his week. I can't wait to get back and talk about this and see what happens.
Fun.
Yeah.
As long as it's going to be as long as it makes it back on the trailer in one piece, and we had fun in the process.
Yeah, and all the equipment's ready to.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. We're going to have a good time. That's all that matters. We're going to go race, have fun, and enjoy it. And then we may travel a little this year. I'd like to go to Montgomery, maybe run Cordele. Just do some different stuff this year. Just try some different racetracks.
Branch out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we're only running 8 races at Five Flags, and I'm going to talk to some of my sponsors and see if they're willing to help us go other places like that. And then we're going to try to get Ben's car together, and then we're going to try to get another pure stock. I got a car sitting at the house we're going to put together and probably do some pure stock racing this year. Ben don't sell the 343, which, by the way, if anybody's interested, the 343 of Ben Cranford pure stock is for sale. Less motor, transmission, and seat. Good car. If anybody's looking for a good pure stock that will run up front, there it is.
There you have it.
So
yeah.
Yep. So that's the Super Stock Red Eye 50/50 coming up with Jim Pokrant in the 07 at New Smyrna, and the 13th annual New Year's Bash at Dillon Motor Speedway, which is also the Street Stock Nationals. Guys, it doesn't get any better than this, and we preach it every week that, the door's open. You guys come in, we sit down, and we talk short track racing, and it just doesn't get any better than that. So I appreciate everything.
No, and thank you to all you guys for listening to us from other countries and things like that. We appreciate you. Visit our website, check us out. And if you can help us out a little bit, we would appreciate it. Yep. We just want to continue talking about what we love, which is short track racing. And, it's a new year. We're into a new year. We're going to get it on. And I mean, it's coming. I mean, next weekend we're racing the Red Eye, and then there's another race. Next thing you know, we'll be middle of July talking about all kinds of stuff. So stick with us.
Yeah, we talk about there's just not a break. There's not really.
Oh, no, it's a very, very short turnaround for sure. And this is our second year preaching about it, too, because we have like maybe a night off, and then get back ready what was going on last week and this week, and what's the schedule's coming out, and all the schedules are out, and racing is upon us.
Right.
Yep. Good luck to everybody in 2023 on the races. Stay safe. Have a good season. Everybody enjoy what you do. And remember that we're not most of us short track guys are never going to go to NASCAR. So let's remember that, and let's have fun with one another. If we get mad, let's get over it quick.
Yeah.
And I'm one to talk about that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You've never been angry behind the wheel for a while.
Never. You've got several videos of me throwing stuff. So.
The best one was when after you and Shannon Ard got together, the camera was still rolling.
In 05,
and
yeah.
the funny thing was, after all that, as soon as he got through stomping and throwing his helmet and having a fit, what does he do? He goes right back to the car and says, what have I got to do to fix it and get on the track next week?
Yeah, and then Dave stuck that mic in my face. I'll never forget that. I thought we was friends. That's fine. We'll see what happens next weekend. It was a full house, and the crowd just erupted. Tim Bright's like, I'm about to give you some gate money. I said, heck yeah, you should. 'Cause I guarantee there'll be some people there going, that 07 at 29 going to get into it. We're going to be here to watch.
We're going to go to a race and a hockey game's going to break out.
Yeah.
The fight and a race breaks out. But,
There you got a short track guy's inside story there, right there.
yeah, buddy. Ted's been around a long time with me, and he just started noticing me, and the first time was
That's where all the excitement was.
2000 Snowball Derby when I was running Superstock, and me and Stickman were getting into it. It's funny because I got the video. Ted's not on me, and all of a sudden he like pans back and then starts following me and Stickman, and I dumped Stick coming off a 4 into the fence. I got it all on video where I flat stuffed him in the fence, and then. Later in that race, I got into it with Tommy Prater. You were right there on us when I spun Tommy Prater out. And then the whole front, it's so funny because you see one lap, the whole front of my Monte Carlo's all bowed up from beating on people. And I started 17th in that B main and finished 3rd, made the show. So, yeah, that was crazy.
Good times.
Good times. Yeah, it's good times.
Short track guy style.
That's right.
Well, I think we're going to probably sign off a little differently than we have.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to do Jim 1, Ted 2,
Oh, okay.
and Thomas 3, and then
All right, then
you know
we'll
the
do
rest.
Do what we do.
All right, ready?
1,
2,
3.
let's go, Brandon. Good night, everybody.
Good night.